Welcome to the HU Movemakers podcast, where we highlight folks that are blazing the trail and making moves in Howard culture. Welcome to the HU Movemaker podcast, where we highlight Howard trailblazers and move makers. Today, we got somebody off Broadway, and she on Broadway. She's killing it. I want to run down to y'all her resume real quick. She's from Brooklyn, BK, the home of Biggie and Jay. This girl first started dancing at 7, acting at 12, singing at 17. Howard University graduate, of course, musical theater. But let me tell you about some of the things she's been involved in. On Broadway, Shuffle Along. You might have seen her in Mean Girls. And you might have seen her recently in The Lion King as Nala. Yeah, that's Howard right there. Now that y'all know, y'all about to be hitting her up for free tickets, but it's all good. Off Broadway, we got Clueless, National Tour, The Book of Mormon, Girl Ragtime, $1 Million Quartet, Zurin Villanueva. What's up, man? Look at that background. That background.
How you doing?
Oh.
Thank you. It's my little
eating, y'all.
My little pretend garden out here. Yeah.
Yo, that's dope. Hey.
I'm very.
That means she working when your background is like that, cause that ain't no green screen, is it?
Nah. It's all real. It's all real. The birds chirping is real. You catch them?
What's up, man? Shout out
got
to
real
Harlem,
birds
man.
up here in Harlem.
Shout out to Uptown. Shout out to Mason Cameron. Tell him I said what's up.
Hey.
But Zurin, welcome to the show. You know what's different about you is that you're on Broadway, and we have a lot of talent that come through Howard, and they end up maybe in commercials, they end up in movies. But what's really dope about you is that you're a triple threat. You can sing, you act, you dance, and now you're on Broadway, man. You're a working actress. Talk about that. What does that mean to be Black and working, and you working at a high level?
It's overwhelming. It's privilege. It's because we out here. There are so many amazing Black actors and actresses on Broadway. We're out here. We have a community. We talk. A lot of the other ones went to Howard too. So having that community really, really helps. Really, really helps. And we're usually, because most of the time we know each other, but we very rarely do we get to all be in the same show together, right? So there'll be
when
three
you say we, you
of us
talking
over
about
there.
Howard, or you talking about Black folks?
I'm talking about Black folks.
Yeah.
Howard too. But like Howard, I know about 5 of us who are currently working, so it's good, But like we're never in the same show together, so we have to call each other afterward, saying what happened to me, what happened to you. Let's get a drink. Let's take time out, So we do that. So it's great. It's I'm just privileged. And
When you come out of
work
Howard?
hard and trying to keep stopping. 09.
09. So you've been at it for 11. So you a vet.
I guess I am. I just realized last year was my 10-year anniversary, and I was like, oh, I'm like an actual.
Man.
I actually know what I'm doing now.
What is considered Broadway for folks that don't know? What is that?
Broadway is a particular set of theaters in the Midtown Manhattan area. They're usually owned by one of 3 Broadway people. Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. That's Harlem.
That's Harlem. The Schuberts, the Nederlanders, Drew Jameson, they own the majority of Broadway theaters, and these 3 guys, these 3 companies that started with 3 men, it's long running here. Broadway's been around since the turn of the century,
Yeah.
And it's a group of theaters, and if you work at those theaters, that's a Broadway show.
Dope. And so what's off Broadway then?
Off Broadway, similar. It has a whole nother set of theaters, some owned by those 3 people I just mentioned. And they have been accredited as off-Broadway theaters. New World Stages is one. Signature Theater, where I did Clueless and played Dion. Ah,
Okay.
was another
Man.
down the street. And yeah, they're all off Broadway theaters are everywhere. You find
So
one way
is
downtown. You find one
the
in
money the
Brooklyn.
same
You know,
off Broadway and on Broadway? Is the money the
no,
same?
no, no, sir, no, sir,
Oh, it's a
no,
big
sir.
difference.
Yeah, it can be. It can be a really big difference depending on the contract. It could be a very, very big difference, or $500 difference. That's a little, but it's not that bad.
You can live with the $500 difference. You can live with that one.
It's a little one.
So you saying because I saw what's that really popular Broadway show that
Which
it's,
one? The
it's
Broadway show?
yeah,
You talking
it's
about Hamilton?
yeah, Hamilton. So is that
Hamilton's a Broadway show. Yeah.
yeah, so when I saw that, but I saw it in Chicago, so that's considered off Broadway.
Nah, because you're in Chicago. That's something else. That's something
Oh,
else altogether.
oh
I don't know
man.
what they call it.
Oh damn, I
I
tweaked.
actually haven't done that kind of gig before. But I know it's are they do they call it regional because it is a production contract, so you are getting paid Broadway money. But I
Yeah,
don't know
that's what
what
I'm
they
saying. Because
actually
when we saw
call it.
it, we
I
paid
don't.
the tickets was
The
like
cast,
500 a piece. So
no,
I was
the
like,
cast is
damn,
Broadway caliber. The cast is Broadway caliber. The production is Broadway caliber. But because it's in Chicago, I think they call it something else.
that's
But I'm not
petty.
sure.
That's so petty. That's so petty.
No, but
That's
everyone,
so
everyone
petty.
is
That's
ah.
petty.
Each city is very proud of like their Broadway scene, so they call it. I don't know. They call it something else.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I
They
feel
trying to
you.
be like Chi-Town represent, and DC's
But
like
you know,
that.
like I
So
was
much
telling
theater
you, me and my wife,
in DC.
we went to New York to see Lion King, and we saw Aladdin. Aladdin was the joint we saw last year. We saw Aladdin.
Ah,
I know that
see, I
had
was in, I was in Lion King all of 2019 from
damn
February.
that check must have been crazy. Oh my
Well,
god,
not that crazy. Uncle Sam
crazy.
will take
Oh
your
man.
stuff.
Oh
Uncle
man.
Sam will take your money, so not that much.
He will
Not that.
take your bread. He will
Oh,
take your bread. So them
ooh,
write-offs got to be nice. But
it's
yeah,
so foul. It's so
Uncle
foul.
Sam is coming. So I want to get in. I want to ask you one question. I mean, working on Broadway, like that's serious work. And when I started going to these plays, it's evident how much work actors
Hmm.
put in. And in some respects, I would from looking and I don't know much, I would say Broadway shows are probably the hardest working like actors out there because it's live. You know what I'm saying? And it's,
Yeah,
you know, the people that are coming to see these plays are really well like educated in watching y'all. Like they're very vested in these characters and everything else. So
in the
first I
community.
want to
Yeah,
give
yeah.
kudos to you because that's a lot of pressure. But I want to know what is it like, being a Black woman on Broadway? What's the gift side of it, and what's like the curse side of it?
The gift side of it is, hmm, I mean, the gift side of it, I think, is the same as all of them, which is like when you finally make it to Broadway, you really can't even believe you're there, and then being part of this amazing community we have and part of that legacy, the Black Broadway legacy, is just another. I can't believe I'm in the numbers. You know what I mean?
Man,
So you are just. I mean, if you're anything like me, when I first got there and started working, I'm looking around corners and finding all of the Black Broadway legends that I can find in parties, asking them just one little thing, one little question, because we learn in Howard to hustle.
yeah,
We will talk, we will find a mentor in a quick, like, oh, tell me this and tell me that. So I was always doing that. And when I was, one of my first like turning point roles was Ain't Misbehaving at Crossroads Theater, which is a Black-owned theater company in Jersey, in New
mm-hmm.
Brunswick. And Andre DeShields, who just got the Tony for Hadestown
The
after
Tony.
a
What's a
career.
Tony? What's a Tony?
Oh, a Tony Award. It's like the Oscars for theater.
Ah,
It's the
okay,
Oscars for
okay.
theater. So Andre DeShields was a original cast member of Ain't Misbehaving, and he was directing it for the very first time. And he cast me as Charlene,
Nice.
which was usually like his dance partner as well. And what I learned from that man during that experience was just you can't. I just wish I had recorded it.
Really?
But this man, the way he gave to us and was definitely trying to mentor us and usher us into Black Broadway and
Man,
like be yourself at all costs. Like that's the
wow.
only way you can get through this. You know, is to be yourself and be
Yeah, that's a good
loud,
point because
be
you don't want to
loud.
get to a certain level and feel like you know like you're an imposter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
and
want to
it
be
can't happen.
comfortable. Yeah.
It can't happen. Yeah. So that brings me to the bad side of it, which I think I think it's the same as a lot of the different avenues, art avenues we have. There's just a little bit, not enough our story, not enough people telling our story. So we are going to be in rehearsal, and some they have a line written for me that sounds a little, and it's like maybe we want to talk about this, or we have an exchange that sounds a little, maybe we want to talk about this, and having the courage to stand up and talk to the director, talk to the writer who you do admire and respect, and being able to tell them something that may be racially sticky
So
and it may not tell the story that they
how do
want
you
to
have that
tell and have them
conversation?
accept that. Yeah.
How do you have that conversation with somebody without being an angry Black woman? Because you don't want to
It's
get blackballed.
it's
It's only three of
I
these
know. You
theaters.
have to be extremely careful. And it's all in the timing. And I've made some bad timings. I made some bad timings and then had to back up and figure out a different way to go about it. Um, I feel like just one on one and coming with love, and it is always going to be a risk because you don't know how people perceive you. You don't know what's in their head or what their head is like. So it's always a risk. But if something comes up where you really feel like you are not representing yourself and your culture and your people correctly, you gotta weigh whether it's time to speak up or not, and only you can make that decision because you're the one performing.
You know, for you to be this humble about where you are, it's not like you just started like yesterday. You know, you've been putting in work since
It feels like yesterday.
for a long time. I mean, even because you went, did you go to a theater high school?
Yeah, I went to LaGuardia High School, the same school down the street. Big up
That-
to LAG. I know y'all out there. Hey.
So, I mean, are you really that surprised for you to be where you are, given you kind of put in that work at such an early age?
I don't know. I wouldn't call it surprise. There is always a level of surprise because this dream is big to begin with, obviously. But I think it came from my mother teaching me that you work hard towards your goal, you will get your goal. You don't know when it's gonna happen, but you will. And knowing that you will makes it happen. And so I was like, oh, I want to be an actor. Okay. So we're gonna go to this school and we're gonna learn this. And I think I need to learn this, and I think I need to learn that, and choosing teachers based on what I see.
what age was that conversation?
Oh, where I was like, I'm trying to do this for real.
Yeah.
16,
Man, and your parents were
15,
supportive.
16. Yeah, my mom was always very supportive. My
Is
dad
is
he was slow, but he was supportive as well. He
Okay, so
paid
your
for the
parents, you
lessons.
have both
Yeah,
parents?
I did. I did. I
Nice. Because
did.
coming from a Black family, I know your last name Villanueva, right? What is that? What
Yeah.
background is that?
It's Puerto Rican. It's Puerto Rican, but it's funny because it's just one dude, one Puerto Rican dude in the whole clan. Both sides, my mother's side and my father's side, are just originally from New York. Both sides,
Oh,
three
okay.
generations. We've been here since like 1900 something, and then before that, both sides came from Virginia, different parts of Virginia. But so there's just like my great grandfather on my father's side was Puerto Rican, and that's like the wonder.
Nice.
It just trickles down from there. But yeah, we've like my family has been in New York a very long time.
So
She's
coming,
awesome.
being that you're in a Black family, I guess we call it a Black family, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
what's that like telling a Black family you want to be an actress? Is
Well,
that
I don't.
is that something that's like, were they like, yo, that's dope, or were they like, yo, you need to major in business? Like,
I
what you found
actually
out
didn't
after?
have. I didn't have that experience.
What was your
I
experience?
felt. I felt my dad was thinking about that a little bit. Like, oh, why don't you do science? What did you do? Be a doctor? And I'm like, Dad, science and math is not my thing. I'm so sorry
Hmm.
about it. It's not my ministry, sir. So he did it a little bit, but then he eased up once he saw that I was serious, especially when I started working. And then
Yeah.
became a check in the mail. Then he's like,
Right.
you don't need
Right.
me to pay your rent? I'm
True.
like, no, sir, I do not. And he's like, okay then. you
What
know,
type of what type of work do your parents do?
my mother is a court reporter and retired court reporter. My father is a criminal defense lawyer.
Okay, got you. Okay,
Mhm.
cool, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
So that gives us some context. So
yeah.
tell me about your upbringing, like in terms of high school. Like what high school did you go to, and why is it kind of important in terms of where you are now?
Oh, yeah, LaGuardia High School for Performing Arts. It is a specialized public high school. So, yes, it is free. You had to audition and have a certain GPA to be admitted. And they are actually trying to shut down funding for specialized high schools in New York City. And that's a real issue because a lot of these kids, these talented kids, these kids that will grow up to do this for a profession, they need this outlet. It saves lives. Art saves lives. You know, so definitely, if you are able to look up that issue in New York City public schools right now, and they taught me my foundation. They taught me how to act. Period. And I did it half the day, and the other half the day I did all my core classes, and then I did all my APs. And so I graduated with honors and was able to use some of those credits to college. So everyone thinks that when you go to an arts high school, that's, all you're doing is playing around. It's like, no, we are scholastic. We have the grades.
Any famous alumni come out of there when you were there?
Like, why do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Al Pacino went there.
Damn.
Um, Jennifer Aniston went there.
Oh
Um,
wow.
Marlon Wayans went there. Hey,
Wow,
um,
that's dope. Artists are weird. What do you do that's weird?
I do a lot of weird stuff. What I do that's weird. Weird is relative. You know what I'm saying?
No, but artsy people, they
Um,
y'all different level of weird. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well, I'm like, okay, there's something I do out weird that's weird. If I'm watching a show and I find like, oh, this person did something really great on acting. They did it really great, right? And I feel inspired because that moment was just so good. I pause whatever it is I'm watching and go through the same emotional journey that I just saw, just to stretch it, just to see how it feels.
Yo, that's
That's weird.
crazy. Yeah,
That's a weird thing.
I'm gonna try it. Maybe I'm gonna try that. Man, so what made you
It's like my gym, flexing.
what made you decide to go to Howard? Because I would imagine that going to a school like that, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you got a lot of other options that could have
Yeah,
been
well,
available to you.
it's a funny story. It's a funny story. I'm not gonna lie to you. The reason I went to Howard was because of my mother. My mother wanted me to go to Howard, and that's why I ended up at Howard. It was
Right.
not my plan. I was not like, oh, I'm trying to go to Howard. No, it was actually my safety school. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Hope they're not writing. Um, yeah,
I mean, you could have went to like Juilliard. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, like I wanted to go to a conservatory, but I did not want to go to one in New York. I wanted to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I wanted
And
to
shout out to your mom's knew better, man. She was trying to
yeah,
keep you
she did.
grounded, man. Your
She
mom
was trying to
knows.
keep me grounded. And her thing was, look, I understand these people. This is a fancy school. It's a fancy program, but you need to be around Black people that will uplift you and take care of your self-esteem. She was like, I'm not paying hundreds of thousands of dollars at a fancy school where you only get to play a maid or a waitress or something like that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And not be given roles and like the
Oh,
kind of thing that
smart. So
happened
she
on
told you
Broadway.
this. She told you
She
this.
told me that. Yep, verbatim. That's what she
Damn.
said.
When you go off to Howard, are you like in the back of your mind, like, damn, this is not what I want to do? Or like, what was your
A
attitude?
little bit. I was a little bit, but I was open to the experience. I was excited to go away to school. So I wasn't completely shut down, but I had my eyes open, like, yeah, I probably should have gone to a conservatory. But then it only took about a month, and it was different for me. Because although, yes, like in terms of training, I had trained further, but number one, it never too many times to go over the basics. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Number two, I felt that support. I felt that at any time I could ask for more acting training, more vocal classes. Oh, watch my monologue right quick. This teacher, that teacher, they had time and they had space and their hearts were open because everyone looked like them. Like, it's different.
You know, now you're at Howard, you're in college doing it, but you got classmates that probably never acted before in their life.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
And you
I
come
do.
with all of this experience singing, acting, dancing, and you like with them. I mean, you got to feel a way about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it did take a bit of an adjustment period for me, but you never ever get too good to do the basics.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, let's just start over and let's get better at whatever I think I already know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I auditioned during the summers, but I also was not a singer. Everyone else in the program was a singer first, so they were singing rings around me, and all I knew how to do is act and dance. So I had a lot of work to do, you know.
Now, when you decide to go to Howard, are your classmates like, what's that? They like, Howard, what's that? Or did they know?
Well, the black ones knew.
Yeah.
I actually went to Howard with one other girl that went to Uganda as well. And she's my sorority sister from Ziva Incorporated. I don't know if you knew about the Zivas.
What's that?
An 83 fine arts organization at Howard University.
Oh, man. Everything at Howard got a fraternity or...
yeah.
What is it called?
It is a fine arts sorority.
Fine arts.
Arts and communications. Divine, intelligent, versatile artist.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
I definitely want to talk about that. I want you to
we're going to
tell me
That's
about
what
that.
Players at Howard. Yeah.
So what about this, man? So you get to Howard, beyond theater arts program, what is it like? What's the scene? Paint a picture for me when you get to Howard. What year is this?
This is 2006.
2006.
No, yeah, 5, 6.
Okay, so you get there in 2005, 2006.
Mm-hmm.
What's the energy like when you get there? You know, what are you seeing? Because obviously you go
I'm
from
seeing
a melting. I mean, New York is a melting pot of people, period. But now you go to the melting pot of Black folks.
Yeah.
What's it like?
Yo, that's another thing that made me fall in love so quick. Because first thing I remember is seeing all these women that were dressed to the nines. I had never seen women all over the place, of all ages, shapes, and sizes, stunting like this to go to school. I was like, oh snap!
On the way to history class, on the way to political science.
It's like, are those Louboutins? What's happening? So I was like, yo, I gotta go back home and change. Wait a minute.
Damn.
So like that in of itself just uplifted me, you know, seeing so many of my women just stunting.
New ticketing platform that values event organizers so much more. EventNoir.com. Event Noir is the perfect ticketing technology for your events that rewards event organizers by helping them make extra money for each ticket sale they make. This platform truly allows event organizers to benefit from their own influence and hard work. Founded by veteran event organizers, Event Noir reinvests ticketing fees into its organizers that continuously use the platform and also enables its users with pricing power to adjust their rate for ticketing fees. But wait, there's more. Besides providing an easy process to set up events in a few steps and for attendees to browse for events and purchase tickets, Event Noir also features a variety of custom templates to create an event page, enhanced ticketing and attendee management tools, and even includes the option to add live streaming events and more. Don't wait any longer. Get started today with Event Noir, the perfect ticketing partner for your events.
So when you at Howard, like what are some organizations that you're involved in?
Well, I just said Diva Incorporated, of course.
Diva
I did.
Incorporated. Oh wow.
Diva Incorporated,
So
Divine,
tell me,
Intelligent,
can you
Versatile Artist.
wait, what?
Divine, Intelligent, Versatile Artist, the Society for Women of Color in the Arts.
Damn. Is this like a Howard thing or is it nationwide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is a Howard University thing, founded in 1983.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any other notable alum a part of that?
Yes, Wendy Raquel Robinson.
Nice.
Harriet Foy is our founder and has a very long career in theater and television.
So tell me about it. Can you
Beverly Jenkins is a Broadway stage manager. So a lot of us are doing a lot of different things, you know.
So can you be a like a AKA or a Delta and be
You can.
Okay.
You can, because Diva Incorporated is not Greek. It's unique. Hey.
Oh, excuse me. You got the head and the hands. All right. Okay. Get it popping. Okay. So so you had to like go out for the organization and like you were online and you pledged and all of that?
Yep. Yes,
Can
sir,
you tell us
was.
some of the things they made you do, or is it like top secret where you can't talk
It
about?
is top secret, but I will tell you that the process is geared to our commitment to the arts, specifically person by person, what avenue they are interested in, what avenue of art makes them tick, and that is developed and nurtured and exploited during the process.
Wow. So when you come out, what is that coming out process like?
Oh, we come out on the yard. We start. It's a physically arduous task that we have to start with. We have to start in the valley, and we do what's called pressing up the stairs, where we maintain this position very close together, and we're helping, and we're leaning very far back, so the core has to be engaged all the way upstairs. You can't really see anything. And then we press across the yard, and we do our entire presentation on the fine art steps, which happens to look like a theater. So it's like a full acting, singing, dancing extravaganza.
So that's dope. Is it how many was on your line?
12. We had one of the longest
12
lines.
divas?
Yeah, we had a long line.
I know y'all was a pain in the ass.
Usually it's smaller than that. We had 12 girls. It was so many. I'm number 5.
And you had a dean, right?
Shout out to my Valley of the Dons. Hey.
I know y'all was a pain in the ass because you got 12. You got 12 divas.
We really were.
Y'all probably was extra, crying, emotional.
We were the worst.
Yeah, y'all probably.
But we stood together. And that's the point.
True. I'm glad because these are stories that you always hear about Greeks, like the Divine Nine Greeks. You don't never hear these stories about other organizations. So is it when you pledge this organization, like are there people that like maybe make fun or like, yo, why you doing that? Why ain't you being in a divine?
I haven't heard, like, I didn't hear too much of that. I know, like, some people had their thoughts about organizations in general, sororities in general. And so, but then nobody, like, I got the support of my peers. It was just like, cool, that's what you want to do, that's cool. You know what I mean?
No,
and especially once they start saying when they see our coming out, they're like, oh, that was hot. Not even. Not enough.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just thought I would ask that. So
yeah, it was all right.
So you're a diva. What year is this at Howard? You joined the Divas?
That's spring 07.
07. So while you're at Howard, do you have any leading roles that you play? Like, what's your biggest role that you play while you're at Howard?
Well, they weren't lead roles. They were a role. I was happy about it. I played Judy in the chorus line. I played
any like kissing scenes?
No, actually. I had No kissing scenes. I only just did my very first show where I actually had to kiss someone on stage, and it was very different for me because I had
Man.
never done
So
it
what is
before.
that like? Why would you do a
Um,
kissing scene when you gotta just like, I don't know, like maybe not kissing, but like have you had a love scene before?
have
That's
not yet.
intense, man. That's intense. I mean,
It's
it
really
seems like you
intense.
gotta
It's intense. You got to
like
be safe. You have to feel safe. Get yourself familiar. Everybody has to know where all the hands are going.
really
Yeah,
no
you
ad
gotta block
libbing.
that stuff out. Well, now they used to, but now they're like, maybe we should block this stuff out just to make sure that everyone feels safe at all times. You know what I mean?
Man,
Yeah,
is that something you feel comfortable with?
yeah, I do.
So would you feel comfortable being nude as well, as long as it's like, I don't
I
know.
got limits. I got limits to that nudity thing,
Yeah,
and that's a case by case basis. There are some things I will never show.
yeah,
You know, but it's really important to like make that decision for yourself before it comes up, before you get tempted with the money and the whoever's working on it. You know, like read the script and know how far you can come. You know?
because
But I
it
did.
seems like something that would, if you get asked to do that in the beginning, you can kind of get like typecast or like
You can. You
overlooked.
can.
You know what
And
I'm
you
saying?
know how the deal is with women. Like we're judged more harshly. So like especially when things are of a sexual nature come up. So every woman has to take that for herself. But I did. I feel I did do. I played Josephine Baker in a musical set about her, the beginning of her life, that Maurice Hines directed at Metro Stage, which is in Alexandria,
Mm-hmm.
in the area. And she, she has the famous banana dance. And so I knew I was going to be wearing little clothes, but so they put me in a banana skirt and I'm wearing a thong. So kind of you could see my butt a little. And I had stickies on both breasts to cover
Whoa.
that.
How your
And
parents feel
that,
about that?
my dad came to see it and he was okay because he knew that that was the character I was playing as Josephine Baker. That is, a big staple of her career. And you can't get away without doing it without doing that. And
Man.
the lighting was tasteful. It wasn't so bright, so it's just a flash and it's very much about her dancing. And that felt like artistic license to do something like that. Like it seemed like it was earned, you know.
So when you're at
So
Howard,
I
like
did that.
what do y'all do in the summertime? Are you acting in the summertime? Are you trying to get like,
I came back here. What was I doing? Well, one summer I went to British Academy of Dramatic Art, BADA, in Oxford, and
wow,
we studied like Shakespeare and contemporary and clown and all that stuff. Oh shoot, what happened here? That's why I did
right?
BADA.
You was at Oxford.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Was
yeah.
it black
Which is
people
also
there?
what Chadwick Boseman went there too.
Oh, shout out
Because
to Chadwick. Yo, can you get him on the show?
shout out, yeah, right. Get him on. I'm
Hey,
gonna talk
text
to
him.
him
I know you
real
got his
quick.
number. Text him.
Nah, I don't. I got his number.
Oh man, text him, man. Come on.
Right, yo, but big up to you. But yeah, a lot of Howard people went to that particular program, and I also got money. I don't know where my money came from either, but I also was able to get money to go, so it was a lot cheaper for my parents than it was gonna be
Damn, that's dope,
from
man.
alumni donating. So always, if you have the cash and you are successful, please donate to the alma mater, like so these kids can do stuff. It's great.
So what was
It's
that
great.
experience like? I mean, do you feel like the training that you were getting at Howard was comparable to that program?
Um, Comparable, yes, in some ways, and acting, yes. But Howard had a whole hard road to go because we lost a lot of our teachers in the fine arts department, especially the years I was there, and they are still trying to rebuild and have tenure professors and professors who are there for a long time. Like we lost the chair of the dance department. We lost the chair of the acting department. We lost the chair of the musical theater department.
What do you
Like
mean? What do you
all while
mean
I
by
was
when you
there.
say lost? What do you mean? They were
Oh,
fired?
they no, they passed on. They passed on. They were
Oh, damn.
yeah. Al Freeman, um, and Reggie Ray, who's our costume and makeup designer, and
I heard about Reggie
Mike
Ray.
Malone, and
I heard about that dude because I had another guest on here, Marcy Rogers. She does a lot of costume design for Spike Lee, and she went to Howard, and she was saying that that's her mentor.
nice.
So,
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's
she
amazing.
said he was a big influence, man.
Mentors to so many people. Reggie Ray.
I heard he wasn't no punk though.
Certainly my mentor. Oh no, absolutely not.
I heard he wasn't no punk.
Absolutely not. He will tell you exactly about yourself, what you need to fix, what you need to improve upon, what your calling card is. He can read you like a book. It's amazing.
Damn, it's crazy, man. What about socially? What are you doing socially at Howard? Are you kicking it, or are you just?
I ain't kicking as much as I wish I had kicked it.
Oh man, you was a lame.
I wish I had kicked it a little bit more.
You wasn't no real diva. You wasn't no real diva.
Look, I was serious. I was about my work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was about my hustle.
Man.
Nah, I was a little. I took everything a little bit seriously. So I was very like studious and like just focused on that all the time. But what did I do? I used to love spoken word. I would go to all the spoken word joints. I would definitely, obviously, go out during homecoming. We would do it up during homecoming. We could do it up during graduation. Those are the two where we would just go 8. And then we would chill. Only a few house parties with Jungle Juice. Only a few.
I'm surprised that you was so laid back, man. But is that fine arts community? Are y'all like tight knit?
Yeah, we're really tight. So we'll like hang out amongst ourselves, and that's how you end up not going out too much. You know?
Yeah, cause y'all got enough going on. You know, it's funny because that's the one building I probably never been in was the fine arts building. I never been.
You never went in?
No, I never been.
But wait, weren't you communications?
No, it's business.
Oh, you were business.
Yeah, I never been in the fine arts building. That's crazy. But
yeah, it's hard to get there. You gotta go in there.
I just want to go check it out. It seems like it would just be like a lot going on that I would want to check out. So you're very studious. So I take it you had a high GPA at Howard.
I did.
What was it? What was your GPA?
3.8.
Damn, you was on that.
Summa cum, baby, summa cum.
Damn. So is that like Phi Beta Kappa too?
No.
Damn, 3.8 G. That's high as hell. Shit.
That's like high as hell.
Like you ain't getting no C's or nothing?
No, that's because I was able to avoid math because I had extra credit from high school, so I was able to avoid math. If I had to take math, that joint would have been lower. So big up to y'all if y'all take math.
So you got some B's. So what was the toughest class you took at Howard?
What was her? African. I took an African history class. It was pretty hard. And then I took. Man, I ain't getting into one of Dr. Carr's class. I wish I could, but I couldn't get in.
Yeah, people love him. I'm trying to get him on the show. People love that dude.
I love that dude. Tell him he needs to do an online class.
I feel like if he came on our show, I don't know if I'd be smart enough to even interview him.
No, you gotta try. He's amazing.
Yeah.
You could talk to him about this election. I bet you he know what to say.
Oh yeah, he would love that. When you graduate from Howard, like, are you popping at that point when you graduate? Do you have an agent? Like, what's going on?
I was popping in my head. I thought I was popping because, like, I had gotten my first role at Arena Stage. My mom gave me her old whip, a Nissan Pathfinder.
Whoa, not the Path.
I had the Path, dude. I had the Nissan Pathfinder. And I thought I was hot shit because I was raised off the ground so I could see. And I was making Arena Stage, like, my gig with Arena Stage called Crowns happened during my last semester at Howard.
What is? Tell me why this is significant because I don't know what that is. What is that?
Well, Arena Stage is a very big regional theater in DC, right?
Oh, okay.
I tried out for the role of Yolanda in the play called Crowns by Regina Taylor, and I got it. And that also meant that I got my equity card from it. Now, the equity card is like the stamp. That's the union card. It's a stamp saying that you are now a professional actor. You know, and so you can only work at certain theaters that pay certain amounts of money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, I'm professional now. So that was a big deal. It's always a big deal to get your equity card.
Were you living in D.C.?
Yeah, I was living in D.C.
Damn.
I was living
So
on Flagler Place.
man, that's dope. So now you a student, you
Mm-hmm.
working, so you getting money.
Get money.
Damn. So is this like
Mhm.
considered a big check that you're getting?
Yeah,
Damn. So
yeah.
what's like a range
It
of
was like,
like what those plays, like what that money is like?
well, it depends on like each theater has a code. Like this is a Lord D theater. You see Lord D, A, B. Those are like sizable checks. We talking about minimum 850, minimum 900
Every
um,
show?
per week.
Oh, okay. Got
Yeah,
it.
it's per week. It's per week. So that's
Cool.
considered very high. That's
Yeah.
considered very high. But
Okay.
each contract that goes with different theaters have different minimums. But like you can also end up 425, 450 a week. You
So
know, for some
when
other
they
theaters
sign
in
you
the area.
to a
Yeah.
deal like this, is that you can only work with them at that time?
Yeah, if you don't got time to do nothing else. I mean,
Oh, so it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
yeah, there's you working 6 days a week, man. You ain't doing nothing else.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
That's
didn't
how
know. I
I mean,
didn't
you
know.
could if you have your own projects that you're working on, that's cool. But I mean, if you're able to fit that in, kudos. Kudos.
Yeah, damn. So it's like that. So I
Yeah.
take it when you got this opportunity, you probably was like really focused because you want to do a good job at it because you like shit. This is what I've been looking
Yeah.
forward
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
So you
It was
put
my
a role
first
of
time.
Yolanda. That sounds
Yeah.
like a role made for a black person. Is this a black play?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Ah, okay. Is it a
Yes,
black
it
theater
is.
company too?
No, no, not at all. The play is about a young girl from Brooklyn whose twin brother dies in some fateful shooting out in New York. Her mother sends her to her grandmother's house to keep her out of trouble and to, help her heal. And her mother and her grandmother and her friends and members of the church that she takes her to each represents one of the Orishas and one of a mentor that is there to teach her something specific on her journey to womanhood and through her grief. So that's what the play's about. And there's
Damn.
6 women and 1 man. And it's great.
So when you're looking for work out of Howard or or even now, like do you seek out work that you like I only want to do theater, or did that just kind of happen that way?
It kind of happened that way. Like because once you start doing theater, you start getting hungry for Broadway. And then you're like, oh, shoot. Well, I can't stop doing this until I get to Broadway. You know what I mean? And then you get to Broadway and then you're like, well, what about that part over there on Broadway? Wait. So like, and you can't quit. At least for me, I was just like, oh, I'm almost there. I got to get there.
So it's
So,
not like you want to do like so you're never trying to do like movies at this
oh,
point.
I'm definitely trying to do like movies and TV. Are you
Oh,
kidding?
okay.
Definitely trying to. It just happened that way.
What's like the hierarchy then? Is it like in terms of acting? Like is it movies, sitcoms, Broadway, theater? Like
No, the hierarchy is up to you. That's your
okay,
personal journey.
okay.
You put it wherever you want to put it at whatever time. And that joint moves. You know what I mean? That's a personal decision. I love TV. I love what's happening in TV right now. I love what's happening on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon. Like the kind of stories are being told. We have so many more platforms. So I'm definitely trying to get into that. That Jordan Peele train. That Jordan Peele stuff is amazing.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Ava
He's spitting
that
out some
Ava
fire.
stuff is that Ava stuff rocking me. I'm like, man, please let me
It's
audition
hitting
for
you.
her.
It's hitting you in your soul, huh?
Ooh, hitting me right there in the good stuff.
Damn.
Oh yeah, so I'm definitely on that. This year I did my first Netflix. I guest starred on a Netflix episode of Insatiable,
So
which has since
we gotta
been
check that out
canceled.
then.
Yeah, it's up there.
Insatiable.
Insatiable. Yep. Episode 5.
What does that feel like to see your name in like
It's crazy. It's the
like
best.
on
It's the best thing.
Netflix and
It's the best. You
on
don't get tired of it.
Playbills and all of that? What does
You
that
don't
feel
get
like?
tired of it.
No?
Nah, it's the best. It's the best thing ever. Like me and my mother scream, and seeing your name bigger. Like if it's a movie and you see the screen and it comes in bigger, you're like, ah. But yeah, it's good.
No, I see. I mean, I guess, when you see your name like that, then you got to live up to it. You know what I'm saying? You got to live up to it. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
man, so that's
Absolutely.
dope. So your mom, is that your biggest supporter?
Yeah, I definitely would say that. She is definitely a momager. She's out here momaging all day, every day.
Is she your agent too?
No, she's not. She's
Oh,
not
that
Asian.
that'd be too much, wouldn't
No, way too much for me. I need the separation of church and state. Thank you.
it? Like, what was the roughest moment being an actress? Is there ever a time when work is just not coming in?
Yeah, actually, when work wasn't coming in, I didn't feel too bad. It felt like, because there was always ways for me to get out of it. There were always ways for me there was always something proactive for me to do to find a gig or to make a gig. So I never felt down on myself. I didn't really hate my side jobs. So I was just fine. This is my hustle. I'm going to do my side job. I'm going to audition until it pop up. And it always does when you're consistent, when you're persistent. I think the hardest part for me personally was actually the schedule when I was working really, really hard and had been for 2 years. That's like 2 years with like not a lot of time off, doing 6 days a week, doing shows that are very physically and emotionally demanding. It got to me. It definitely got to me. I like had started going through anxiety. I even like had a little stress alopecia, like I was losing a little bit of my hair just because the demand of the schedule and having to be somewhere on top of your physical body being depleted was like, it can get rough. You have to listen to your body and make sure you're not harming it. Yeah.
That
The
sounds
schedule's crazy.
rough, man. I mean, how do you come out of that? How do you deal with doing something that you love that is harmful to you?
Yeah,
It's almost
it's a
like a
trip.
drug. It sounds like you're doing
No,
a drug. Like, you love it.
but moderation. Too much of anything, too much of work. Too much of what you love can become work. But for me myself, I took a break, and then this happened, so I got a longer break. But I took a break, and I was like, therapy and massages, and just letting your body reset, let your body heal. And doing that, and that's how I'm
So
bringing
therapy
myself
is
back.
like physical therapy, or you going to see somebody that's kind of,
Physical and psychological, both. I'm doing both
man,
because my knees messed up and my heart is nervous. We'll fix it. We gotta fix all the parts, the inside, the
wow.
outside, everything. Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
necessary for you to do those things.
I think it's very necessary because we use our emotions for a living. So if your emotions are off kilter, then your work is gonna become off kilter. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
you don't want that. You know what I mean?
So what about, who are you surrounding yourself with? Because I would imagine that when you're in a space like being a actor, that you kind of got to surround yourself with people that, I guess, bring out the best in you. I mean, everybody should do this, but you're
You do.
in
You
a
do.
space where you have to kind of get into character all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to be around folks that making you lose
It's
motivation for things.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have to watch it, and it's hard. I don't know if it's hard for. I think it's maybe our own whole generation, but like even connecting with people who are good for you, who are in your circle. Like everybody is working so hard, so it's like even hard to get at them, to talk to them, to see them. So it's actually a struggle just to getting the FaceTime because everyone's working so hard and like barely getting there. But
Man,
I try. My good friend from high school is still my best friend. So I talk to her. My mom is my rock. Talk to her. But it's small. It's a small circle.
small circle. So what about the social life? I mean, you got a boo?
Oh. Yes, I currently got a boo. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I got a boo. But I did not have a boo for many, many years, and it's hard out here for a parent because, as I said,
I mean, I want to ask about that
music career.
because, do
What?
you date somebody that's in the business?
A lot of people don't think you should. I personally don't think it's an issue, but it is a challenge. Um, because I don't think it's an issue because we're always around each other. So obviously it's going to happen at some point. You know what I mean?
So the person that you're dating is in the business.
Yep.
Does that ever present a conflict?
Not for me. I haven't experienced that as of yet.
Because you like, or is it ever like a competition thing that not on purpose? But
Not on purpose. Like I've heard it can definitely come out here and again. And then like as long as everyone's like honest and upfront and like talking about it, then everyone's cool. You know, because everyone's driven and everyone's focused, everybody wants it so bad. So that kind of stuff does come up.
Yeah.
But like if you're emotionally mature, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. But yeah.
What about like if you get an opportunity to play a role in this one of them kissing or love scenes? I mean, well,
everyone involved should know. You know, like
I know. I'm just saying, is that something that, let's say, your significant other, do you think they would understand that more than somebody who's not?
I think so. In my experience, yes, they do. They do understand that and able to separate it.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
It is tough. It is tough. It depends on what you're doing. You know, I haven't done all that. Freaking stuff. You know,
I noticed in your roles. I mean, your roles. What would you describe your career as? Because a lot of times with Black actors, you gotta play a thug, or you playing a hoe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, thankfully, in musical theater world, I think the hoe or the thug is translated to like a little kid or a friend or, you know, the cute friend over there, the sassy.
Yeah.
The strong, you know, the friend on the side. I feel like I would characterize my career as like a lot of young roles. So that's another reason why it was not so much romance, because I was playing kids. I was playing teenagers.
Yeah.
Mean Girl's a teenager, Blue's I'm a teenager. So it's kind of chill for that reason. But yeah, I've definitely been like cute, quirky, a lot of energy girl. Like I get a cast of a lot. Is that a lot? Definitely that.
Tell me about your big break. What was the big break?
I feel like it's not like all the big breaks. There's a lot of little ones.
Mm-hmm.
So like A Misbehaving, as I told you about, that was like one stepping stone.
Or maybe a one that I'm sure the first opportunity was probably like.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
You probably was like, damn, this fast, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was like, oh snap, I got the secret. The secret is in me.
Yeah. Well, tell me about what it means to play like a major role on Broadway. You know, to be.
It feels wonderful. It feels as big as it looks. It feels radio, like performing at the Tonys feels like that is a very big space. That's a lot of known people that fit in there, and you don't realize it until you're out there and you're looking and you're like, look at all these people, you know. And I've been performing for a long time at this point, but I'd never seen an amount of people like that at Radio City Music Hall and feeling all that energy, because it's like Tony night, so everyone is theater people, so they all like yes, and it's like you can feel that energy. It's dope.
Damn. Dope. I mean, even after the show, when everybody's saying, yo, you did such a great job, and these are people that you respect, you know, like, because I'm sure that when you're on Broadway, I'm sure you got critics, you know what I'm saying,
mm-hmm.
kind of critique and compare you to maybe the previous person that was playing that role.
Absolutely.
I mean, have you ever?
That's why they tell you not to read the reviews until after you're done with the show, so you don't get in your head about it.
Do you follow?
Yeah. I do, because I'm sensitive. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. So absolutely, I wait until it's over, and then I'll read it, get in my feelings, have a drink, go sit down somewhere because it's over. So it don't matter anymore.
These characters, do you ever take these characters home with you? Like
a little bit.
In a sense, where like you got baggage from these characters?
A little bit. I feel like I did when I was doing Ragtime. I was very much in a darker place emotionally more often because of what I was doing. You
Damn.
know, quick synopsis about that. She is a young mother who had a baby and kind of tried to bury the baby, but the baby lives because she was going through something emotional about the baby's father. So it's
The
like
baby was alive when she was burying it?
she had the postpartum mental break thing and she
Damn.
buried her baby. And it was the baby was found and the baby was alive, but that is the story.
What?
Because she was heartbroken over did they get married? No, they were gonna get married. And then she ends up dying because she goes to a protest asking the president to asking the president to get her husband out of the jam that he's in because some white cops went up to him and started messing with him and that kind of thing, and he's going on a charge. So it was very Black Lives Matter. And then so she gets attacked by police and dies.
Damn.
So like that is the story.
So
And
how does
that
that
is like
how does
what
that
she
affect
do,
you? Like,
you know?
you play that role, then next thing you know,
Heavy.
the play is over, everybody's clapping. Are you still
It's
thinking about
heavy. You're not thinking about it, but you just feel the weight. You feel the weight because the only way to do this kind of stuff is to go through it. The only way to be a good actress to actually go through it. So like when you get off stage and you're like, you're just a little melancholy, you're just a little heavy. You might have to play some music, smoke if you do that, and just kind of release all of the emotions that you had to go through over the last 2 hours. So it definitely happens. Not all the time, but depending on it, it does.
Damn.
You gotta be careful that you're not holding on to it, that you let it pass, Yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
tough, man. That's tough. So right now we're obviously in the midst of coronavirus. How has that impacted you?
Well, a lot. I mean, it happened so that I was having a break already. So I was really grateful for this time, grateful for the reset button. But then I realized how long it's lasting. First they said June for Broadway, then they said September. Now people are talking about January. So pretty much I won't be working all year because
Damn.
I stopped working in February. So it's just like, wow.
So what do you do?
Okay.
I mean, do you like how do you stay on point?
I'm
Even
doing
just
a lot of stuff in my living room. I'm dancing in my living room, using my ballet bar, piece of furniture as a ballet bar.
so
I'm using,
basically
you get it. You got to get it happening. You
yeah,
got to practice. So I
damn.
sing in there. I'm actually in the midst of creating. I want to do a virtual solo show. I wanted to do a solo show in front of people, and I had written it out. But then this happened. I was like, nope, we got to go forward. So I might as well do a virtual version of it. So I'm in the process of figuring out how to do that.
Damn.
Make sure the sound is right. Yeah.
When you're an actress, even at the level that you're at, where you're consistently booking, stuff on Broadway, even off Broadway, but it's still it's things are good. Is a part of you, are you thinking about like, I need to still save money because the life, like nothing's promised in this acting
Yeah.
business?
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. 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 I'm always thinking about that because you never know when it's gonna take a minute for you to get your next gig. It can happen at any time. I don't think anyone was foreseeing this thing because Broadway's always on. Like it snows 10 feet in the air, Broadway's still working.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no trains, Broadway's still working. This is really taking us on for a very serious loop. The fact that Broadway is going to be the last thing to come back.
What do you think about like when Tyler Perry and like Spike Lee, like they beef, quote unquote? I don't know if it's a real beef or fake beef.
Yeah. Well, it was.
Is that legit? Is that legit for Spike Lee to feel that way about Tyler Perry?
I definitely understand where he's coming from and why he felt that way, but I also feel like he, in the beginning, because they've made up, as far as I know, they've made up. But in the beginning, Spike, like, I understand his critiques about the man's work, but he came at it in such a way that kind of shut down the communication. Because the reality is, Tyler Perry looks up to Spike. Spike did it first, so you have to sit there and recognize yourself as the elder. And it's like, yo, son, you've been doing some things. You've been getting some money. You've been successful. I would love to talk to you about your stuff and do it in a way where it's more of a mentorship, and then we're all uplifted, and then we're all going in the right direction. Because I mean, Tyler Perry is, no one has done what he's financially done. That man is genius in what he's been doing financially, you know? So that can never be taken away from him. But if you have qualms with, it's art, it's subjective. You got qualms with that, or your audience, or this story or that story, let's talk about it privately. Don't like go on social media and be like ragging on your brother in open court. No. Take my brother over here. Let me rap with you for a second.
Right.
You know, but I hear that they made up. So I'm very happy about that personally.
What about Monique? Did you follow Monique's situation with Netflix and all of that?
Yeah.
So she kind of feels slighted because of what she's been able to achieve professionally, but she's not been able to make the money that, let's say, Amy Schumer or whoever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's right in her points about what she's trying to get. I think she's doing it in such a way that no one is going to, like, you have to be stealthy with this stuff. You can't, unfortunately, with as Black people, when we have grievances, we come straight at it this way. We get all of the marks, we get all of the assumptions, and nobody wants to listen to us. Everyone shuts down. You know, so we have, like, I don't see why someone like Monique wouldn't speak to a white actress about supporting her for equal pay for something. You know what I mean? Like the kind of thing that William Macy did for Emma, what is her last name? And Emma Rosen with Shameless, making sure that she made equal pay. You know, that kind of stuff. And so you have to be very, very careful about the way you go about it, because you know how easy it is for us to get slapped with for us to get shut down and slapped with names and that kind of stuff.
So what advice, you know, you've been very, very, very successful. And I want to say, you know, you've been successful for a long time. And what I noticed.
It don't feel like that. It feels very regular, but thank you.
Well, when you take it back to high school, you know, from the fact that you got into that school, the fact that you graduated with a 3.8 GPA, and then while you're in your senior year, you get put on, you know, you become a working actress, which I think is what most people aspire to be. Like, you know, that's a huge blessing in and of itself.
Definitely.
And now things kind of come full circle where you're in New York, you know, you're from New York and you're on Broadway. That's got to be, you know, very.
Yeah, because that was the thing. That was the thing when I was on tour with Book of Mormon. Like, people were like, "Oh, we're in my hometown. We're in my hometown. Come out, fam. Come out." And I'm like, "Dang, my hometown is Broadway.
Yeah.
I gotta wait to get there."
Yeah, right.
He's like, so it's like the level, the bar is up here, and you're like, "Oh, it's so far."
I mean, is there what now? What are you looking to accomplish right now? Like, let's say, like in the next 5 to 10 years, what are some projects you'd love to do?
I'm looking to accomplish some more TV. I'm looking to work with some more astounding, amazing actors, especially Black actors. Like, I want to get some of them off my list, like Angela Bassett, like, you know, like Jeffrey Wright, like, hey, he's from Brooklyn. You know, like Spike Lee, like Ava DuVernay, like, just get Debbie Allen, just get some of them off the list. I want to rap with them. I want to create with them. I want to finish this solo show. I'm doing that this summer. I want to play more roles. I want to stand at Zero and sing. Zero is the middle and the front of the stage. So when you standing at zero and you're singing, that's like a whole musical theater fantasy right there. I want to stand at zero and sing. You know what I mean? For the whole crowd, like that's something I want to do. I want to do more acting. It's basically what I'm focused on.
Dope. What advice do you have for somebody coming in Howard that wants to be a working actress and they want to work at you know, they want to be on the big stage?
Persistence. Know yourself. Know where you you have to kind of coach yourself in a way, because no one's going to give you the information you need. A lot of times you're going to have to seek it out.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to know where you are in your journey and what you need when you need it. Listen to your body, listen to your heart, and don't quit. It's a numbers game. You don't quit, you good. It's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. Just keep doing it.
Have you ever been acting with somebody that got cash or something? You be like, how they like how?
Not often. And I tell you why. Because like it's not about talent. It's not about talent. Who's better than who, or whose voice goes higher than who. It's 90% not about that. It's about that persistence, and it's about that connections. Who you know that knew this
Really?
person and that. Yeah, those connections help. Even if they just work with you briefly or they saw you briefly. It doesn't necessarily have to be a big connection. So that's why I say persistence, because regardless of where you think you are in your skill, in your tangible performance, it's often not about that. It's about who stays there the longest, who works the hardest.
100 years from now, what are we saying about Zurin Villanueva? What are we saying about your legacy?
What I want people to say, I would want people to say that the things Zurin Villanueva did spread more Black stories told by Black people all over this world and this country.
Man.
I want to say that she created an avenue for more Black voices to be put in all streams of media. That's what I would like. You know.
Do you think
and she can act her ass off too. That's it.
Do you think that you'd be into doing like telling Black stories and like this if you had not went to Howard for theater?
I think I would, because my mom, because of where I came from, but it definitely reminded me the need that we have for it. Going to Howard reminded me of the need every day, because I saw such amazing things from my people every single day. And I'm like, wow, people don't know this. People don't see this. Mm-hmm. People need to see that and this and that over there. You know what I mean? It definitely made me see how important it is, just how deep it goes, you know.
Oh man, so if somebody wants to follow your work or get in touch with you, or I don't know, follow your projects or do whatever, how do they do that?
Oh, well, definitely follow me on Instagram at Zurin5. That's ZURIN, the number 5. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's where I'm going to be putting all of my projects. I'm going to continue my musical theater series, where we're taking R&B classics and putting them through a background of classic musical movies that we know, but with different choreographers, Black choreographers, and just turning all of it on its head, trying to remember Black love and remember R&B. You know what I mean? Remember that good, gushy 90s love. You know what I'm saying? That good stuff. So definitely follow my YouTube, Zurin Villanueva, and you can definitely get at me in those platforms. I checked those out.
Yeah, no, I checked it out. You know, getting ready to interview you, so that was pretty cool. So right now, this is where we do a little bit of Jeopardy. Howard Jeopardy. Let's see what you know about Howard.
Oh shoot! I didn't study.
See what the diva knows. What does the diva know?
I don't know.
All right, so I'm gonna start you off with an easy question. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, what year was Howard founded?
1867.
Go ahead, girl. That's a diva. What is the Howard motto?
A motto?
The Howard motto.
Too much is given, much is required.
No.
That's a good guess.
No.
That's a good guess.
To whom much is given, much is required. Truth and service. Where did you stay at? What dorm did you
Truth
stay?
and service. I'm quiet.
Oh, okay.
QUA3. Yeah.
So what is the address of the quad?
Oh, address of the quad. Isn't it like 4 something on? Oh, come on! Stop making them faces.
Shit, come on now.
That's not it. That street. I don't know.
Come on, Zurin, come on.
I remember where I stayed senior year. That's what I remember.
Oh, true. Where'd you stay senior year?
For 12, 2101, 2104 Flagler Place. There we go.
All right. Spell Crampton.
CRAMPTON.
There's no P in Crampton.
Damn! Everybody does that, don't they?
Damn, yeah.
Everyone does that.
I used to be an usher, so I didn't even know that shit until like years later.
I
had no clue until a few years ago. I was like, damn, I thought it was a P in it the whole time.
I swear there was a P in it.
Finish this sentence. Reared against the eastern sky.
Reared against the eastern sky. We fly high.
Oh my gosh, no. Proudly there on Hilltop High.
Oh, Hilltop High. Oh, is that the song?
Yeah, that's the song.
Never got to sing that song.
Finish the sentence. Wait, no. What is the Black national anthem?
Lift every voice and sing.
There you go. Good job.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's not a trick question.
Who is the president of Howard?
Oh yeah, right now.
You said right now.
That's it right now.
Yeah, right now.
What? That's a valid question. Nah, isn't it that African dude?
The African dude.
Am I right?
Well, he's from Trinidad, but
oh, Trini. I thought he was African. Trini. Whoops. Nah, yeah, that dude. I heard about that dude.
Dr. Wayne Frederick. Man.
Wayne Frederick.
Who was Howard named after?
Howard University named after? Oh.
Yeah.
I actually never knew that. Who?
General Oliver Otis Howard, a white man.
Oh, what'd he do?
He was a general, I believe, in the war.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, there's that.
Very interesting. I'm gonna have to delve into that one. That's interesting.
Yeah, right. While you're under quarantine, you can do some research.
Oh yeah, I can learn about my school that I went to.
Yeah, you never know when these questions might come in handy.
Man, and ain't nobody asked me these questions while I was at Howard.
Really? Man, I gotta ask this like every day, man. Job interviews, everything, you know.
Job interviews, they asking these questions?
No, I'm just talking shit.
All right, I'm about to say. That's
all
crazy.
Right, so now we're gonna do some rapid fire.
Oh God.
Rapid fire. So this rapid fire, you just got to give me a one-word answer, or whatever comes to mind. Whatever comes to mind. Okay. So the first one is U Street or Adams Morgan.
Adams Morgan.
Ooh, that's an Archie person's response.
It is.
Is is homecoming better as an alum or as a student?
Alone.
Good one. Okay, you got to start one, you got to bench one, and you got to cut one. You got it?
Yeah.
So one is the main actor, one is an understudy, and one is cut.
Oh God. The
Sitcoms,
cut.
theater, or movies?
I'm starting theater. I'm benching movies. I'm cutting sitcoms.
Ooh, wow.
I know.
Best,
I don't know why I did that.
best Howard moment.
Oh, I remember one day I was sitting on the flagpole, like early freshman year, and the sun was coming down, and there was some dude playing guitar or whatever somewhere, and we were trying to act like we could rap, and we couldn't, and it was horrible, and it was really funny. And the sun was coming down. Best time.
That's deep. You're deep. You're deep. Howard men don't cheat.
They don't what now?
Is that your response?
They cheat during school, not so much after.
Oh, okay. Would you advise someone to be in a relationship at Howard or once they graduate?
I would do at Howard once, but probably once they graduate. Definitely once they graduate. Have your fun. Live your life.
Live your life.
But make the connections though, because then you can marry the one that was your friend during Howard after Howard. See that's the move right there.
That's that high level thinking right there.
High level. You know what I mean? Put in the work.
All right. Start one, bench one, cut one. Debbie Allen. Ava DuVernay.
Oh my God.
Queen Latifah.
Oh, why are you doing this to me? That's horrible. I have to start with my girl Debbie because I love Debbie so much. I have to start with her just because, like, she knows how to open the show. You feel me? Then, like, Bench Ava, I don't even like this, and I really don't like. But that means I have to cut Queen, and I don't want to.
Oh, you gonna cut Queen Latifah?
I don't want to.
I mean, this is an actor, a
You
rapper.
It's a terrible setup.
Man, I can't believe that. I mean, living single, that was a staple.
No, I don't want to. Why you make me make
Set It Off? Set It Off was a great movie.
Set It Off is the greatest movie.
Chicago, was that a Broadway?
Yeah, she ate that. That is a Broadway show.
Man, you just cut her.
I don't like it. Okay.
I'm gonna make sure she sees this. I'm sending this to Queen Latifah.
No, don't do me like that.
All right. Start one, bench one, cut one. John Singleton. Spike Lee. Tyler Perry.
Oh, you already know what I'm about to do. I don't know why you even asked me this question. You know that's easy. It's Spike, then it's John, then it's Tyler. You know what it is. Like,
man, why do I know what it is?
Because I'm an old school girl. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know. Okay. I'm an artsy theater girl. You know me.
Yeah. Drew Hall or Carver?
Drew.
When did you first learn to say no?
Like 3 years ago. Not that I just recently learned that word.
Like you
Just
was like
recently. Yeah, I know it was hard. It was hard. And you gotta keep practicing it. You can't just say no once and think it's gonna be all right. Because the next time you're like yes, and you're like, dang it, I did it again. That's an ongoing struggle. Ongoing right there.
So you still learning, or you learn how to say no?
I'm still learning. I can be persuaded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Zurin, you've been a great guest today.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
for coming
me.
on the show. I appreciate it.
To Joshua.
It's Joshua.
All right, let's do Joshua. That's nice.
You know what I'm saying? You heard me?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun. I enjoyed myself.
I'm glad. See, we started out, it was daylight. Now it's nighttime.
I know. Look how dark it is outside. It's going to be a nice little time lapse happening.
Yeah, so be safe out there in New York. I know that quarantine is a real thing, and Cuomo got y'all under some. Cuomo and Trump, they beefing right now, so I don't know, man. Hopefully y'all get it together.
Hopefully they give us some something. I take my vitamins. Put my mask on. I'm good. Chill. Come on, let me live my life.
Right. Thank you for joining the HU Movemaker podcast, where we highlight folks that have contributed to the Howard legacy at the highest levels. To hear more interviews or purchase merchandise, please visit www.humovemakers.com.